Do you think I'm watching everything? That's why you assist. Our second reading is Psalm 100, verses 1 through 5. Shout with joy before the Lord, O earth. Obey him gladly. Come before him singing with joy. Try to realize what this means. The Lord is God. He made us. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Go through his open gates with great thanksgiving. Enter his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and bless his name, for the Lord is always good. He is always loving and kind, and his faithfulness goes on and on to each. This is the word of God for the people of God. As I said, you can sit. It's going to be a while. As I said, Diane and I had the honor of going to the conference. And we're here to share the good news from that conference. We were called upon, or volunteered, whichever way you look at it, to attend this conference. To worship with our brothers and sisters, to renew our mission, to make disciples of Jesus Christ. In other words, to get people to know God. Bottom line, share. The bishop opened with words of gratitude, highlighting the faithfulness of clergy, of laity. That's us, laity. I can never get all these words in the right place at the right time, so if I remind you, it's because I'm reminding me. He praised congregations for continuing to make that love of Jesus visible in our communities. And we do. Look at what we've done this year. He celebrated several milestones in our denomination, one of which included 70 years of women being ordained in the ministry. That's a long time, and we were way ahead of a lot of other denominations. Somehow the United Methodists realized the true value of the women in the church. It really wasn't hard to see because we're a real faithful group. He was also very happy with the growth and the leadership in our congregations. 200 of the congregations in our area had increases in baptisms, professions of faith. Their congregations were worshiping strongly. Then he turns towards facing the realities of our church life. While he's a very nice man, he's also a very smart man, and he pays attention to everything. I guess that's probably part of the reason they made him bishop, so he can watch over all of us. He acknowledged the challenges of declining membership, fewer clergy, the financial challenges that churches are having, and increasing number of small congregations. Still, he said, or he reminded us, the smaller does not mean weaker. Healthy ministry, impactful ministry, is possible in every church size. As a matter of fact, the Methodist Church has always been a strong, small church tradition. You've seen the churches out there that boast the warehouse-style, huge space that they fill quite readily. God is God. There's not a problem with any way you choose to worship. But the Methodist Church has always been something more this size. Some are a little bigger, some are a little smaller if you look around our neighborhood. But it doesn't matter is the point. It doesn't matter. We work very hard, we're very faithful, and we try to keep it all going in the right direction. The bishop challenged the conference to confront 4 underlying causes that contribute to decline. And I'll just throw these out there. I'm not saying we're declining, because I don't think we are. I think we're growing. But things to be watchful for. Loss of spiritual vitality. I think we're pretty vital, seems to me. Paralyzing nostalgia. Kind of living in the past. I think we've kind of gotten past that too. This is my favorite one because I can't say it. Insularism. Protecting, why do people use words like that? I mean, I know he's an educated man, but anyway, protecting what's left instead of being curious of what can be is where he was headed. And lack of mission humility. Not exactly sure where he was headed there, but my feeling on that is we do a lot of mission work and sometimes we don't realize the importance of it. And that is true in our own community. We are really out there and we are really trying. Faithfulness often requires letting go, encouraging congregations to release old patterns and preferences in order to make room for new things that God is bringing to life. It's a living Bible, my friends, and it changes every day. Pick up the book. See if the same thing that you read 6 months ago, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you're going to read it today for the first time. Then look at it the other way in another 6 months. See if that phrase means the same thing to you that it did back then. It is truly a living Bible, and that's the way we teach it upstairs. We read the old stories, of course we do, but it is something to be lived every day, and that's why the two the most important things that we mentioned today are going to continue. Love is love. Pass it on. He encouraged members to continue moving forward together despite differences and trust that God is not finished with us yet. The same Spirit who sustained our ancestors is breathing new life into us now. And God, who brought us this far, will carry us into the next faithful chapter of our shared mission. Our bishop called on us to remind us of our vision. We are empowered by the Holy Spirit to love humbly. We care and we help our community, serve joyfully, and lead courageously where we can. Love boldly is to say we passionately love God and, like Jesus, embrace and include people of every age, nation, race, gender, and walk of life. Everyone. We serve joyfully with the heart of Christ. We journal alongside the most vulnerable among us, offering care and compassion with joy. And lastly, we lead courageously, following Jesus' example, that we seek to resist and dismantle systems of evil, injustice, and oppression, striving for peace, justice, and reconciliation. Sounds kind of like a superhero, doesn't it? But with God's help, it is possible. The vision is more than just words. It's an invitation. The vision tells us where we're going and how we will continue to live well into it and accomplish this mission. The mission, which is our driving purpose, our why. God is calling United Methodist to live that mission as we grow and invite people to know God. I heard this on the radio this morning, and I just thought this was really the core of some of what I hear people say. A society grows great when old men plant trees that they know they will never sit under the shade of. It's not all about us. It's about future generations of Galway UMC worshipers. So in the bishop's words, United Methodist of Upper New York and Galway, we are Upper New York, right? You are deeply loved by God. Are you ready to rise and give God the glory? Are you ready to rise and love boldly? This is our challenge. We have already come a long way towards fulfilling many of these things that were discussed at conference. We as the people of the church work well with our pastor. We work well together. We are out in the community giving and working where we can. God's work is never done, but through our hands helping. Help is on the way. Bishop Hector informed us this is, aside from all those good words, well, I guess it depends on who you are and where you are, what you think is good. Bishop Hector informed us that in 2027, Our ministry shares will not increase. Do you know of any other bill that's not going to increase in 2027? I say this because this is a big part of our budget every year. So that's us supporting the conference. Who turns supports us? And one of the key people working in the conference is our district superintendent. This is a position in the church that can make quite a big difference in helping us and helping our pastor. Who pastors the pastor? They do. They help with our monthly reports and different things that we might need to get done in our church. They help us find a pastor if we need one. Our last district superintendent, Deb Earthroll, not that most of you have heard that name, assisted us by bringing Pastor Dave and Reverend Richard to us. While you may not know the person in this position, they know us well. Each year we fill out forms that tell them exactly who and what our church is, what we want in a pastor, and what we want in a church home. All this information is stored until needed. Diane and I had the pleasure of meeting Reverend Anna Cole. She's going to be our new district superintendent beginning July 1. You may not see her, but you will feel her. And she seems to be a positive, hardworking woman who has done a great job in the district that she was in. But just as pastors are often moved to different churches, the same is true of superintendents. They are looking to be where they can serve God best. And thankfully, she's decided to come to our area. And I'm really hoping she'll come to our church because she is a special person. This is my second year as your lay leader to conference. I did give a brief report to the Administrative Council this week. I'm very thankful that you have sent me. And I feel like we can bring back a lot of good ideas and looking to forward them and share them with our teams and committees because you don't want to hear them all. I realize that. Diane attended the conference with me this year. She was able to go as a voting member. And we attended several seminars while we were at the conference, which is full of meetings, church services, and good information. And one of the seminars that we chose was called Fresh Expressions of Church. They talked about meeting people in your community where they are. This was led by Reverend Abigail of New Faith Communities, and Diane is excited to tell you more.
Good morning, church. Like Deb said, we went to several seminars, but this one spoke to me, and I didn't even know that this type of Christian community was out there. So just a little bit of what we learned. John Wesley didn't plant a single church. He went out to the people, met them in the fields, in their homes, and in the ordinary places of their lives. So picture this in your mind, if you will. A singular lone tree, a church, growing up through the barren sand all alone in the vast desert. No new root system or growth to allow this one tree, church, to grow and flourish. Then picture a tree, church, that is growing up from a forest floor with a huge root system, an established canopy with bushes, flowering trees that allows for this tree, church, to grow into a community. This is what we call the Fresh Expressions of Church. Fresh Expressions is a cross-denominational movement that creates ministries that can be separate from traditional church services. But these new forms of Christian community do not replace a traditional church. They just grow alongside it. So how can we help you explore this movement further? Let us not be afraid to have this conversation and move our church into a fresh expression. Oh, that's my cue. let us stand and for our final hymn,